my lovelies, Barbara here with another tarot reading for the week ahead. It's Monday the 20th of October 2025. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. I was really busy this weekend. So Saturday I was teaching Reiki level 1 all day, and then on Sunday I was teaching tarot all day by Zoom. Great. I had such a great weekend. I really do enjoy doing it at the weekends. It's fantastic. Anyway, I do love my job. Anyway, let's go on with the reading. So we have the Rackham Tarot this week. Bit battered, that box. It was a second-hand deck I bought ages ago. Really nice deck. Very fairy tale-ish almost with the illustrations. There's the back. And here's the front. So the lead card this week, we have the Knight of Swords. And if you remember last week, we had the Page of Swords. So we've actually managed to move on this week. We're a little bit more clear in our mind what direction we want to go in. You know, we've got rid of that almost like youthfulness, and like we've grown up a little bit with, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. These are my plans. Not 100%, you're not a king or a queen yet, but nevertheless, you are more sure-footed almost in the direction you're going to go in. And in fact, if you look at this knight here, we'll ignore the bits here, she is very clearly going forward. And if you think about Rider-Waite, their Knight of Swords, he's like, whoa, he's like, going at speed. Yeah, I'm not even thinking about it. I'm just going, no, she knows what she's doing. She has her, well, they're using an arrow because obviously air. So she has her bow there ready that, don't need it just yet, but I am prepared. It's all about preparation. I know exactly where I'm going. There are still some clouds in the background, which we did have in that page, but they've lifted slightly because you can now see the challenges that could be there in the future. She's not looking towards them at the moment, but they are actually clearly there. So I will say this week, the ideas that you've moved on from last week and perhaps started to put into practice or whatever, or you're going that little bit further, that there will be challenges, and just look out for them. You don't need to worry about them yet because they're in the distance, but it's, you know, sometimes it's good to plan, isn't it, in the future. Now, what is so interesting, we have a leopard down here. Leopards are very, they're cunning, that sounds awful, but they can think things through. They're not as fast as a cheetah, but they are very independent in what they do. And if you think about them, leopards take their prey up a tree. They're really good at climbing, so they can do things at their own pace. You know, we'll take my dinner up there and I'll eat it when I want to eat it. I don't have to scoff it quickly down here in case somebody else comes along and nicks it, sort of thing. So the fact that it's showing her such respect, this means that you can utilize that sort of spirituality almost from the leopard. In fact, I would say look up leopards, go online and everything, and just see what the powers are within those leopards to actually help you move forward. So she is all prepared. This is a fantastic week. So you are becoming sort of in control of your own forward life, or what you want to do, what you want to plan. And in fact, I will say it's very important in as much as I'd say career, that's the wrong thing to say in this case. We have the Eight of Pentacles, and if I put it really closely, you can see it's like a dwarf or an elf or whatever from fairy tales, working very hard. What's he actually doing? Yeah, he's creating. That's interesting. I hadn't noticed that before. He's actually creating a sword. Oh my goodness, how that leads on from that Knight of Swords. I mean, I had not noticed that beforehand, so that's really quite interesting. And Eights of Pentacles is all about moving on. It's creating knowledge in some respects. I'm not saying knowledge of up here, but like practical knowledge of how you can, you know, move on. So I would say, whether you're working from home or you may be retired, you may be a stay-at-home mum, whether you're in a job, you're in a career, careers and jobs are very different things. This is the week that you can start thinking, right, what do I need to do to progress further? Now, for instance, say you're retired and you're looking at, say you like crafts and things like that, you like making jewellery. Perhaps this is the week to start thinking, well, how far can I take this? I love doing it, I'm very good at it, I might be good at dressmaking, you know, all these things. Can I now I am retired, actually create this business that I've always wanted to do, even if it's just going to fairs and things like that, you know, psychic fairs. Perhaps you make beautiful jewelry that are very pagan-y or something like that. This is the week that you can actually start looking into, what credentials do I need? What experience do I need? Do I need to do any exams or anything, or, you know, extra training? This is such a positive week because you have clarified what you want to do in your life as you move on. Now, this is interesting because it's not often I do this, to be fair. I'm going to put two cards together and it will make sense in a moment. That in itself, what I will say, this is about you this week, particularly. Now, this is the King of Cups. It's a very unusual King of Cups. So there is, I mean, close, I mean, you can't really tell. He's like, I'm a really old man. Remember, if they've got beards and things like that, and they're elderly men, that invariably means they're very wise, they're very experienced. And he's a king, so of course he is. But in this, he looks a bit sort of, not tired, but do you know what? I can't be dealing with all this stuff that's going on, all this emotional stuff that's going on around me. And if you look over there, you've got all sort of the waves crashing against the rocks, and he's depicted as a like a merman, I suppose, lying there. I said, you know, oh gosh, I can't deal with that. And not like I can't deal with it. It's like, do you know what? Nah, I just want to deal with myself. I've got my own things going on in my head. I don't need to get involved in other people's arguments or whatever emotional stuff that's going on. You know, sometimes you have to say, look, yeah, I'm stepping back from this. You get on with it. You know, it's only for a week. Doesn't matter. You know, take a break from other people's emotions this week. What's over there in the moon? Oh, it's just, he's actually, oh, there's a cormorant there. You think about cormorants, they go and they can dive into the water and then they catch their fish and they fly off. So there must be a spiritual meaning, and I must admit, I don't know about cormorants, but there is a spiritual meaning, it's bound to be. So look that up this week. What do cormorants mean to you? So, but the fact that it can dive in when it wants to and then just take what he needs and go, that's you this week. And the only thing with, where's the next one? I'm going to get Sean together. Right, no, that's the way I did it. So if these were laid out on a table, so there he is. Here is, bizarrely, the Queen of Cups. And if you look, she's actually looking down at him, not looking down, who do you think you are? It's like, yeah, I can still be a caring person. Where is it? I've lost it now. She is actually under the water. In fact, you can just about see there's a lot of fish here and everything like that. She is under the water, but unlike the Queen of Cups in Rider-Waite, who looks pretty miserable, to be fair, she doesn't. She actually looks, yeah, okay, I can deal with all the emotion that's going around me. Underneath, there's no great, huge amount of things going on. Underneath, it's very gentle. See, that's like really woo sort of thing, because it's above ground. This, I can deal with it. I can immerse myself in it if I want to. It's important to keep control of your own emotions this week to enable you to actually feel calm and collected and just, oh, look at me, you know, I'm a queen and, you know, I can deal with things, but at the moment I'm just happy. That's what this week is about, is that emotional happiness, all these ideas and the training with the Eight of Pentacles can bring you. So where does that lead you? Oh my goodness, we have the one and only Major. There we have the Star. Remember, stars for millennia have been used to navigate, to find, you know, where you want to go, to follow that star. Follow the star, reach for the stars. If you look at all those other four cards, if you keep control of your emotions this week, you know, not be emotionless. You don't have to be emotionless, but keep control of it. Don't get involved, embroiled into other people's arguments and things like that. It will guide you forward where you truly want to go at this point in your life. And that Eight of Pentacles and that original, that very first sword, that Knight of Sword, you'll have the intelligence, that sounds awful, but the thought process that will enable you to do that. So this is an amazing week. You can really move forward this week. Just keep control of those emotions and really decide what it is. And I would really look at that Eight of Pentacles as well, because sometimes, even if you're not sure the direction, well, I want to go this way, I want to go that way, do a little bit of research. And that in itself will represent the star to guide you forward. Anyway, have a fantastic weekend. I will see you soon. See you soon. Bye for now.